If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was
Well, that abruptly came to an end quicker than I thought it was going to.
It did. It did. We've actually started cutting down the time on the intro here. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday night. It is 7 p.m. It is the kickoff of WrestleMania week. I am OMD. This is the Locker Room Breakdown, our Raw perspective. Bubba Duke is unavailable tonight. He is under the weather. So I am pleased to welcome back to the show the Chief Content Officer here at Turnbuckle Studios, Mr. Chris Best, and our Director of Operations at Turnbuckle Studios and the head of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, Mr. Carl Carafel. How are we doing, gentlemen?
So you're saying Carl is Nick Khan and I'm Triple H?
Yep.
Sweet, I'll take that.
I'm the TKO, damn it. I'm doing well. I am doing very, very well. Just came back from having a little bit of a vacation, a little bit of a getaway, and it was much needed. Other than that, yeah, things are well.
Yes, I saw a lot of the photos from both you and the spouse. It looks like you guys had a blast. You got your first NHL experience.
I did. Yep. With an OT win for Toronto. I'm sure you're happy about that. And it was just all around a really good game.
Right. Yeah, I was watching for you on screen because I was watching the game, of course.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't see you.
That's all right. We were up in the second level, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there would have been no seeing Carl, period, at that point. They normally don't shoot the crowd up there.
Yeah.
No. And yourself, Mr. Best, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, feeling really relaxed for the hectic week, shall we say, that's ahead of me. Because we've got WrestleMania this weekend, which means I've got a lot of editing to do. And as well, I've got to do a pre-record for Saturday Night Gaming. So programming note, people, Saturday Night Gaming will be a pre-taped episode this weekend.
Yes, it is a hectic week. This is the Raw Go Home show tonight for WrestleMania. But we're going to get started with the review portion of it. Carl, I know you were away, so you didn't really get to see much of Raw last week or get caught up.
I was in Florida. I wasn't sitting there watching wrestling while I was in Florida.
But you could have been at the Performance Center.
Could have been. But it was about an hour away from where we stayed, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've got some cliff notes. You've got the gist of what happened, though. So we started off last week with Adam Pearce addressing the Women's World Championship situation. And that resulting now in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Mr. Best.
I mean, we all knew this was coming pretty much since after Chamber. Actually, when EO took the belt, we were like, okay, triple threat match on it coming up. And that was actually the Raw after Chamber. I like the way they came to this conclusion. Adam Pearce was just fed up with everything, fed up with all the infighting between the three of them. And he's like, look, we're going to do a triple threat match. Bottom line.
Yeah. Carl?
I mean, do I want to see it as a triple threat? No. But if that's the direction that we got to go, then we got to go. I mean, everybody wants their WrestleMania moment, I guess, right?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this because in that segment, Bianca raised some valid points where she said, you have to go out and earn it. Go out, win the Royal Rumble. I didn't do that. Go out, win the Elimination Chamber. I did that after watching two of my very best friends beat the holy hell out of each other. And this whole thing has centered around her and Rhea, with Io continually getting pie-faced, and then Io last week took matters into her own hands, said, I've had enough of this, and hit that missile dropkick from the top rope.
Yeah, and it was about time that she got her licks in on everybody, because the main feud has been focused primarily between Rhea and Bianca, and Io kind of like in those last couple of weeks was like that little kid that was like, hey, look at me, I'm here too. And they kept pie facing her, and she just let it all out with that drop kick.
Yep. Beautiful moment.
And it's about time that it happened, like you said. I mean, there's so many times that you can take being pied in the face before you start to kind of, retaliate with that. And that's exactly what happened. We just saw a retaliation and, a little bit of a show of dominance as to, hey, I'm the champion here. You bitches are nothing right now. You guys are fighting amongst yourselves, and you just keep trying to push me out of the way. But don't forget, I'm the champ, and I'm right here.
Yeah, and that going into the triple threat match, I believe could be the downfall, and maybe we see Io come out on top.
Right. Moving on, we're going to go to what was probably the match of the night last Monday night. Lyra Valkyria defeating Bayley to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and either way, whoever would have won out of this match, I would have been totally okay with it. I love Lyra, I love Bayley, but they put on a hell of a match, and I remember coming out of the match saying last week, I don't think we're done with these two.
Right.
And I'll elaborate more on that tomorrow night at 8:05 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, I was going to say I don't think we're done with those two either, because now it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Carl, your thoughts?
I mean, for me, the match itself, I didn't really get to see all of it, but what I did get to see was some highlights, and I got to see a highlight of a counter from the Rose Plant to pick up a quick 3 count to retain that championship. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see that, a few minutes that I got to see of the end of the matchup, that counter that came into play. It's not a move that's really countered very often, but to see this one be countered as seamlessly as it did, for me, just really solidifies Lyra Valkyria and the success that she's had on the main roster, and especially right now as the Women's Intercontinental Champion.
Right, 100%. This was, like I said, this was probably the match that stole the show last week. And you can't get any better than the 2 clinics these women have put on in the last 2 months, going into the Elimination Chamber in the qualifier and then last week.
Right.
And it's nice to see that shine finally getting put onto the Women's Intercontinental Championship after it sat almost dormant for a little while.
Well, you got to remember too, if Hunter doesn't have anything planned for you that for your championship, he'll still put you on the show to remind you, hey, this person's still the champion, but they're just not going to give you like a storyline or anything of that nature.
Right.
And I remember the first time you had said that you were getting frustrated with the lack of defenses that Lyra had with the Intercontinental title. I'm like, just wait until around WrestleMania. We're going to get something with Lyra. And look where we are now. We're getting something with Lyra.
We are. On to probably the sleeper match of the week last week. In a 6-man tag, we had the team of American Made, Brutus and Julius Creed, and the Starbucks Order, El Grande Americano, defeating Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro of the LWO. Mr. Best.
I actually I enjoyed this match more so for Walking Wild and Cruz del Toro. I enjoy watching them anytime they wrestle. I need them to not necessarily break away from the remainder of the LWO, but start going after the tag titles, or solidifying that they want to be contenders for those tag titles and not be on like the lower card of the tag team division. I like where I'm not sure if I like where they're going with the LWO as a whole, but I like this whole thing with El Grande Americano.
And Carl?
Very innovative, a very good matchup, a good 6-man tag team matchup. To my understanding, beautiful how they incorporate the wonderfully talented Ivy Nile, passing off some piece of metal. That's what they say. Who knows what it was? But, El Grande Americano putting it away, not taking it out and hitting, not using it is what happened here, right? And Rey Mysterio getting involved, and Rey Mysterio being taken out. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. You want to jump up onto the apron, you're going to get taken out. It doesn't matter, right? 100%. And then the flying headbutt. I mean, it was a clean win in that 6-man tag team matchup for El Grande Americano and the Creeds.
Yes. Yeah. And Mr. Best, I am with you, because we don't know what the future holds for the LWO, but it's really become stagnant.
It's not so much as it's stagnant for me, because I do enjoy watching their matches. I just need a little bit more meaning behind what they're doing.
Right. And yes, it would be nice to see them get that push. But we also know that there is a draft coming up after WrestleMania, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go in that regard. Are we going to run into more Latino Hispanic groups with, you've got Legado del Fantasma, you've got the LWO as it is now, you've got Penta and Phoenix on separate brands. Are we going to run into this where we're going to get that influx of Hispanic and Latin superstars in all new factions?
See, I'm not sure about that. I don't think so either. Carl, I can see you making that I don't think so face.
Yeah.
I
really don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like over on SmackDown, the whole thing with Legado del Fantasma is starting to fall apart, especially with what Andrade's been saying to Berto after his matches.
Right.
And the LWO feels a little bit more united since Zelina Vega left for some reason.
Right. Yeah, they just moved her to SmackDown in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Up next, a very, very interesting segment as Jey Uso addressed Gunther and got in his face, saying,
we needed this. We need this savagery out of Jey Uso. This is the Jey Uso that we need coming into WrestleMania for that title match, that hunger for the title, the hunger to destroy Gunther. And even though Gunther still came out of this like all smiling, like, yeah, I still got you, I'm going to get you at WrestleMania, I don't think he is now.
Right.
But no, Jay was just on fire, and you can just tell he was seething with anger, especially after what Gunther had done to Jimmy a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I mean, if your brother had gotten beaten up in front of you guys or any one of your siblings, I guarantee you'd also be the one that just wanted to snap and just deck that dude.
Yep.
I've been there. Trust me. I know what Jay's going through.
Yep.
Jay's not afraid to take a stand. Watch out, Gunther. He's going to get those hands. Are we gonna get an outcome of like Jay becoming the world heavyweight champion? I don't believe so at this point. As amazing as it would be for the Yeet Nation, sure, maybe, but not yet. Not yet.
Okay. I loved this segment, and it was like if you could just hear that pure emotion in Jay's voice.
Right.
And he stayed calm through it. Like he wasn't out there yelling and screaming. It was almost as if he'd had this euphoria. And he knew what it was. So I'm wondering now, is he going to go into this match and approach it like a tribal combat?
It's a possibility. It's a very big possibility. If he does, nothing wrong with that, I think. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my my screens here and everything, and it's cutting into the video, so I apologize.
It's all good.
All right. Then we had a tag team title match with the New Day challenging the War Raiders and defeating them via a DQ.
This DQ finish kind of had an old school feel to it because with them winning by DQ, you had the confusion from Eric and Ivar, and the New Day also, to me, they kind of acted like they won the tag titles when they didn't. I liked it. I liked that finish, and it builds because now they have a match at WrestleMania against one another.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the finish, and I like how I like where we're going with the New Day now. Now New Day's finally got some kind of traction, whether now that they're going after the tag titles.
Yeah.
I'm still just not sold on this new Day, this dark New Day. They can continue to try everything that they want to, but I mean it's a heel tag team. That's it. For me, nothing special.
No, I know exactly where you're coming from because I've been to that point a while ago. But I do agree with Mr. Best. It's nice to see them finally get some traction rather than continuing to do what they did as baby faces, and that was just continue to put over talent. I went into last week's match expecting a squash.
Right.
If anything, I expected the New Day to be the ones getting disqualified, and then you're not going to get where we're going at Mania. Do I expect this match to be high on the card? No, I expect this to be the fourth match of either night 1 or night 2.
I can tell you what night it is. Give me 1 second.
Oh, give him 1 second.
Yeah.
1.
WM. No, not next year's WrestleMania phone. Thank you very much.
Time's up.
That's right.
So it'll be on night 1.
Yeah. So I'm expecting this to be in that fourth match slot on the card where everybody's going to get up to go to the bathroom, stretch their legs, go to a concession.
And I'm going to tell those fans to not do it. Do not sleep on this match.
Oh, it's a full 100% that it's on night 1?
Yes.
We've gotten all of that, those revelations?
They revealed night 1 and night 2 matches on SmackDown on Friday.
Gotcha. I was still in Florida. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, you were. You were on Florida time. And then we had, in our main event match, Penta defeating Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Loved this match. Loved it. I love everything Dom does. I love everything Penta does. I mean, OMD, you remember when Penta made his debut? Afterwards, I think it was only just you and I chilling out, and I'm like, I'm going to play AEW just because I want to play a Penta match. I love this match. I love the build to the Intercontinental title. We've been saying it for months now that it was going to build to a fatal 4-way, and here we are now. I can't wait to see what goes on tonight between those four gentlemen. I can't wait to see what happens at WrestleMania. I can't wait to see what happens with these four guys after WrestleMania.
Right?
That's how excited I am about these four gentlemen going into the Fatal 4-Way.
Right? This is one of those matches that you almost want to open the show at WrestleMania and set the bar for that night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could work. Having them open, set that, that level, that excitement level. I am sometimes a little more old school with things, though, and I do believe that you need to start kind of a little more slower and build to your main events. Like that's what it's all about, right? And this Fatal 4-Way, while maybe not necessarily a full main event, but this is like co-main event caliber going on here.
Right.
So I don't know if I really would want them to open the show. I think I'd want maybe a different way to open up and hype people.
In a sense, they won't be opening the show because they are on night 2.
Right.
So if
I
they
still don't want them regulated to opening night 2.
But I was going to say, I always look at it, if they're opening night 2, that's more or less continuing the excitement from night 1, essentially.
Right. 100%.
But I do see where you're coming from on that one, Carl.
I mean, second place is the first loser. Oh,
you just reminded me of the Jerry Seinfeld joke, where he talks about having problems with the Olympic medals. He has a problem with the silver medal because out of all the losers, you came first.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this match was absolutely amazing, but it's not like we wouldn't have expected it from these two.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dom's been putting on banger after banger after banger for the last year or so now.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
I thought that was Sheamus.
Right?
Sheamus has been putting on burger after burger after burger.
I know you were ribbing me about this a couple of weeks ago, Best, when I said Dom is hot. Dom is that guy that everybody wants to come in and start off with. He is that introductory measuring stick, and it's about time he gets his own and gets a chance to carry some gold. And if you want our WrestleMania predictions, stay tuned. Tomorrow night, 8:05 Eastern for Turnbuckle Talk.
Yeah.
With the three of us.
Yeah, we're going to be actually, Carl, I've already brought it up, but we're going to do WrestleMania predictions for tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's probably going to take up the entire show, considering there's 13 matches to talk about.
100% it would. 100% it would.
Yes. And on to the last segment. And this was interesting. This was Paul Heyman addressing being in Punk's corner at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Your thoughts, Mr. Best?
Paul Heyman, man, is just gold on mic. Every time he talks, it's like, you got to put down everything. You got to shut off the world around you. And you just got to watch and listen to what he has to say. I can't remember exactly what was said in that promo, though. That's the problem I'm having with myself right now. I do know he was addressing the fact that he's going to be in the corner of CM Punk. I was going to say in the corner of himself, but it almost kind of like I was getting Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Elizabeth vibes off of that with Roman Reigns coming out as kind of jealous from this, especially on SmackDown when he's like, wise man, tell him you're going to be in my corner. And to which Paul Heyman said, no, my tribal chief. But at the same time, WrestleMania 5, Elizabeth was actually in a neutral corner, so she was in the corner of either one of those men, Hulk Hogan or the Macho Man.
Right.
But
I don't know. I can't speak too much on it because I didn't get to see the segment. So
Right. Seth Rollins came out and literally was trying to get Paul Heyman to pull himself out of the match
okay,
so that he didn't have that conflict between Reigns and Punk. Seth even said, all it takes is, for you to get down on your hands and knees, one quick stomp and it's all over. And then at the end, because Punk did come out and Rollins had put him down, Heyman was there on all fours consoling Punk, and Rollins came in for the stomp but deliberately pulled up short and then said, it now looks like you owe me a favor, Paul.
oh, interesting.
Yes.
yeah, so Seth Rollins basically there to stir the pot a little bit more. That's his role in this triple threat match.
Yes. Yes. And to be honest, it would not surprise me to see Seth Rollins pull off this upset win next weekend.
Yeah.
All right. On to tonight, gentlemen. Tonight, Carl, we're going to start this off with probably what's going to be your match of the night as we get Bayley versus Liv Morgan.
So I can guarantee you that as much as I love Liv, this is not going to be my match of the night. I am excited for another matchup that's happening tonight that has been released. But I digress. We will talk about that in a few minutes. Bayley taking on Liv Morgan before the WrestleMania. Just wild. Just freaking wild. Anytime that I can see these two in a ring, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I've 100%. I 100% expect Raquel Rodriguez to make her presence felt, and then through that, Lyra makes her presence felt. Unless we have an unannounced match tonight where Raquel and Lyra are going to have a match later on tonight as well.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I mean, we do know that Bayley and Lyra won a gauntlet match to become the number one contenders for those championships that we defended at WrestleMania. So it might be. I mean, we've only got what is it? Two matches. Hold on a second here. We've only got two matches actually announced for tonight right now. That's it.
Two matches and two segments, essentially.
Yeah. So we got lots of room to be able to open up and have more matches on this show. And I think that would be a fantastic thing to do to have that matchup and have a setup for now Raquel Rodriguez and Lyra Valkyria to have a matchup tonight as well.
Yes. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if that match potentially gets moved to Friday night.
Yeah, that's another thought too. That Lyra and Raquel could very well happen on Friday night as well.
C'est possible. Yeah.
But I'm going to take Bayley going over in this match.
Okay.
I'm going to go the opposite way because as much as I love both these women, Bayley's been kind of struggling to get a win lately, so I'm going to go with Liv.
Oh, interesting.
To take the win.
Carl.
I'm going to go with the fans getting a win from just watching these two in the ring.
Oh, wait, yeah. Actually, can I change my prediction?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to predict Carl's going to win.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. In our second announced match of the night, Karrion Kross and AJ Styles.
This is going to be fire. But at
How
the
long
same
have I
time,
been saying that we need something for Karrion Kross, that we need to have Karrion Kross showcased more on our television and programming? And what an amazing way to get a bigger shine onto Karrion Kross than to have him inside the ring with one of the greatest of this time right now, AJ Styles.
yeah, 100%. I know that they fought each other prior to both of them coming to the WWE. I'm looking forward to this one because I haven't gotten a chance to watch any of their matches outside of the WWE, and I know I'm missing something on that one.
Oh, yes.
100%.
I'm 100% looking forward to this because of the fact that, again, Karrion Kross is finally getting something. And I've been wanting him to get something since coming to the main roster, getting released, and then coming back to the main roster.
Yeah. That's all three of us in the same boat because Karrion sort of gets dogged with these backstage segments. And as you like to refer to him, Mr. Best, that devil's advocate, being in the shoulder and in the ear of just about everybody that he can backstage.
And that's exactly what he's been doing with AJ.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him in the ring since about November when the Final Testament fought the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. But I do expect Logan Paul to make his presence felt in this match.
Oh, Logan Paul can. That's in a fucking sugar. Mm-hmm.
That's just Carl imitating his best Harry from Home Alone.
Yep.
Well, we will get to Logan Paul here in just a few more minutes, guys. But we do have CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns under one roof tonight.
Right.
Don't forget, the advocate, Paul Heyman, will also be in the building, too, for this thing. Maybe we get some answers out of Paul Heyman as to why he took this favor, because I feel like Roman is going to want some answers out of Paul.
Right.
I'm just excited to see what happens. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's so much that could happen that it's endless. The possibilities right now are just freaking endless when it comes to what could happen between all of these stars that are inside the ring tonight. Hopefully they're going to be inside the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we're going to see, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman. They have the graphic up with all of them in it. So I'm hoping that they're all going to be there.
Right. Because I remember last week on Raw, all it said was Roman Reigns back in the house. I hadn't heard anything until today about CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I saw the video from Adam Pearce yesterday regarding that. And again, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Pearce because you make mine and Parrish's work so much easier when we're putting together the Raw Patrol.
Yes. Yes,
That's official.
Yeah.
This is probably, there's just way too much that could go wrong or could go right with this segment.
Yeah.
But you've alluded to it already, Mr. Best, that Seth Rollins has essentially been there to stir the pot on everything. He hasn't really tried to get overly physical in this, whether it's with Roman or Punk when all three of them are in the ring. He's sort of, okay, I'm going to stir the pot and then take the step back. We're sort of starting to see that bit of a heel, that visionary out of Seth Rollins.
if you remember, he was the one that started this whole triple threat feud at the Royal Rumble when he curb stomped both Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Yep.
So he's a little shirt disturber, we'll say.
Yep. You can use the word on my show best. It's okay.
I'm trying to keep
Stirring
it PG.
pots. Yeah. And then we can't forget about, the other person that's going to be there.
Right. And this is now the part, I'm sure Bubba's feeling the same way as you, Carl. Logan Paul set to appear.
Sorry, I'm looking around for my puke bucket. It's not handy right now. Why? I don't need Logan Paul. Whatever.
Okay.
I'm just curious about his presence. I just get a feeling he's showing up in the AJ Styles Karrion Kross match. And I'm going to say it right now. I think he costs AJ that match and Karrion gets the win.
Okay. See, and I'm going to go with it this way. He's going to come out, call out AJ to lead into this match with Karrion Kross. And then he'll come back out when the match is over.
It just would have made more sense for him to show up in the match regardless. Or after the match or during the match. Like if you want to get into the head of AJ Styles, that's what you do, is you interfere and cost him that match.
Right.
I don't want anything to happen during that match. I want AJ Styles to have a good matchup against Karrion Kross, with Karrion Kross going over cleanly so that there's no BS surrounding a Karrion Kross win.
But I mean, Logan Paul could also show up after the match and do his assault. And it probably wouldn't have any implication on the match itself, because it would still be a clean win by Karrion. I'm still going with Karrion to take the win.
He just doesn't even need to show up. Just whatever. Do something on the screen afterwards. I don't even want him inside the ring. Piss off, you wanker. Don't even want it.
We're getting him inside the ring on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which night now.
No, thank you.
So, Carl, echoing Bubba's sentiments. So, Bubba, your presence is felt. I know you're not feeling well, but you're still with us here in spirit, brother.
What happened? He's only with us. What?
Bubba's under the weather today, so that's why he's not here. So he's with us in spirit.
Okay. You made that sound way worse than it was.
No, he's not.
His presence is here in spirit. I'm going.
No. Bubba's not.
Nobody messaged me.
Bubba's not underground yet.
Okay. Good.
And in our last
do this to me.
In our last listed segment of the night, we have Gunther set to confront Jey Uso.
Bubba coming in and say, "Bro, you made it sound like I'm dead."
Right.
Bubba, with how sick you've been, you might as well be. But Gunther and Jey confronting each other once again. I said it last week. I need more of what we got out of Jey last week, so I'm hoping we get more of what we got out last week from Jey.
Are they actually confronting each other? Because it says nothing about Jey being there. All it says is that World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is going to appear live just days before his Mania 41 battle with Jey Uso. And then it asks the question, what will the ring general say when he grabs a mic we'll find out live tonight on Netflix.
Right. Well, and I'm going to shout out the Bulkster again because he is the one that gets us our list and gets us all the information here for the locker room breakdown. And things around here on this show just wouldn't be done without his help. So Bulkster, greatly appreciated. Thank you, brother. And in what he sent us, it says Gunther set to confront Jey Uso.
Okay.
So that's probably just from some website who assumes that Jay's going to be there. Because I'm also seeing on WWE's website that Gunther is set to appear, and that's it.
Either way,
But-
Gunther's on my screen, so I don't care.
Right?
I mean, wherever Gunther goes, Jay's not going to be far behind. But I'm also wondering if we get Jimmy showing up as well.
No, I think you're going to save Jimmy for that Mania moment. But where
If that's
Gunther,
idea.
If
Where
that moment
Gun-
does happen.
where Gunther goes, I'm sure he's probably got somebody following, and if there is a confrontation, we may get a Jey Uso versus Ludwig Kaiser tonight.
I'm going to say no on that because we haven't seen Kaiser and Gunther do anything together in months. It's been several months, so I think we got to move away from that.
Yeah. I think we have moved away from that already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I expect Jimmy to make some sort of his presence felt. Do I expect fists to fly? Maybe, maybe not. This could be just a war of words tonight, and then we'll let the explosion of fists happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think this is a war of words. I do think we're going to get Jay. I think Jay is not necessarily going to come through the crowd. I think he's coming down that aisle tonight. He's gonna go out there and call out Gunther, as we've started to see that those roles get reversed quite a bit lately. So I think it's going to be Jay once again calling out Gunther, as opposed to Gunther going out first and grabbing the mic.
Do you know what I'd be fine with them doing? Those live via satellite promos. And if they can do it just like how Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar did it, that just adds more realism to their feud. And if you guys remember, Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar kind of broke kayfabe in that feud, with Samoa Joe leaving his studio and going across the arena to fight Brock Lesnar.
Right? There was another one too that was a number of years ago that was John Cena and The Miz, I believe. And John Cena appearing via satellite, only to then strip away the backdrop and say, well, guess what? I'm in the arena.
Yeah. It's just been a minute since we've seen that kind of a promo, and I wouldn't mind if one of the feuds did that.
Right.
Yeah, Bubba coming in saying that he feels that Jay does not need to show up tonight. What do you guys think about that?
I think you're a week out from Mania. I think you need Jay to show up tonight. I don't think you need the fists to fly.
Yeah, this is the final week before WrestleMania. I think this needs to be an all hands on deck type situation.
Yeah, this is an all hands on deck for everything this week.
For earthing.
Or Earthing.
Earthing. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily needed. Why can't we let things be surprises?
Yeah.
Right.
I see where you're coming from on that one, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we've actually gotten through this in almost record time tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not used to this. So with that being said, we do have to get over to Turnbuckle Studios for the Raw Patrol here in the next few minutes. So I'm going to shout him out. I already did once, but I'm going to shout out our friend, the Bulkster. You can catch him on YouTube and on TikTok. Both of those are at Bulkster Show. Thank you again for everything you do, brother. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And for Bubba Duke, who is at home under the weather, catch him on YouTube at Bubba OMD and on Twitch at Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. That is where he does a lot of his solo gaming stuff.
It's where he plays with himself?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Carl, I'm going to let you take this one here, brother.
Sure. For those of you that don't know, with Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, we do have merchandise. The merchandise is available through our Redbubble shop, and that's available at carlcarufel.redbubble.com. That's KARLKARUFEL.redbubble.com.
All right. And they haven't put your socials in here, Carl.
That's perfectly fine because it's easy enough for people to find my socials. It's at Linktree, linktr.ee/my name, Carl Carufel. So linktr.ee/KARLKARUFEL.
All right. Mr. Best.
Yeah, you can find me at my link tree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Stick around. In about 13 minutes, we'll be going live for the Raw Patrol.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for me, you can find me at my link tree. That is linktr.ee/OMD show. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get into podcasting, whether it's to come up with an idea, whether it's something creative, innovative, collaborative, whatever you want, reach out to us here at affiliationprogram.my.canva.site. You will speak to any member of the team here, be it Carl Carufel, Chris Best, myself, Chris Parrish, Bubba Duke. And we are open to anything, whether you want your start in podcasting or you want to get onto a slightly larger platform.
And even collaborations. I'm going to throw that out there. If you are somebody that is watching this and catching this right now, and you want to do any sort of collaboration where our viewers and your viewers all are able to witness us together, that is definitely something that we are 100% open to as well. And even if it's something that you want to do that is a little bit more behind the scenes, kind of like what the Bulkster's doing for us here, we appreciate each and every one that comes by and just takes a look. And if you're somebody that wants to maybe work a little bit more behind the scenes with a passion project, not necessarily have your face out there, then we're more than willing to work with you, find your skills, hone them, and help you out as you help us out as well.
And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you can join us in about 11 minutes over on Turnbuckle Studios with the Raw Patrol. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you both back on the show. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, from all of us here at the Locker Room Breakdown and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck,